Welcome to My Hometown, the program that explores clubs, organizations, businesses, and issues across Nassau and Suffolk counties and sheds light on the different towns that are making a difference.
Hello and welcome to My Hometown. I'm Bill Horan, along with my co-host, Nassau Community College student Mike DeMarco.
Bill, if you were going to make a smothered pork chop with an apple slaw and smashed rosemary potatoes, how would you do that?
Very easily, I'd call the nearest restaurant, but I bet our guest today could whip up something in no time.
Well, not only can she, but she actually has. She's only 15 years old. Bill, our guest today is Eva Kopelman, a sophomore at Southside High School in Rockville Centre and a recent contestant on Top Chef Family Style, which can be seen on the Peacock streaming service from NBC.
I'd also like to welcome Eva's mom, Jenn Kopelman. Eva and Jenn, welcome to My Hometown on the voice of Nassau Community College 90.3 WHPC.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for being here with us. I'm hungry already after Mike's introduction. Once he started talking about the dinners he was fantasizing about. But you tell us, how have you made it through this past year with the pandemic, etc.?
I actually started this whole journey in business through COVID. Like, without COVID, none of this would have happened. I really started gaining my passion for cooking during COVID because my dad suffered a stroke and he was the one that always was the one cooking for us. And since he lost the ability to cook after that happened, I already have had a passion for cooking through my mom and like cooking with her since I was really little. So I decided to take on the challenge of taking over the kitchen and making dinner every night. And through that, I really developed a passion for cooking and I just started building my arsenal and I decided to show it on social media and it ended up going really well.
Sounds great.
I am a working mom. I now have the opportunity to work from home because of COVID. So with Eva being at home, doing remote school, and me being next to her in my little dining room office, I was able to sous chef for her, I guess you could say.
Perfect.
Or teach her some of my tricks that I've learned over the years for her to start to really build upon this incredible place that she's now at in her culinary career.
A good
journey.
backstory out of the pandemic.
Exactly.
So that's what we like to hear, the good stories.
COVID was really a miracle in disguise. It had its ups and downs, but really had its ups because of everything that's going on with me now. So
a winner, that's great. Yeah.
Thankfully for us, we did not have a loss, which is really, thankfully, thank goodness, a blessing. And we call it our little silver lining.
You'll always have a great backstory to tell people.
Always.
Years and years
Always.
in the future.
It really is interesting because, during COVID, a lot of people had time on their hands so they could work on their own hobbies and things they enjoyed and, really come into their own on what makes them happy. And it's clear you've always had a love for cooking and I'm just fascinated. So this whole cooking venture is really recent then?
No, it really is. It started in March of 2020. Wow. So it really just has begun, and what I've achieved in under over a year is incredible. I would never have expected any of this.
Eva has been cooking for longer than March of 2020.
But not complex.
My husband had a stroke 3.5 years ago. So that's when she started taking over in the kitchen because she'd always been my little helper around the kitchen and she knew how to make certain basic meals. So that's when she stepped in. So it was around the time when she was about 10, 11 is when she really kind of got into the kitchen. And it's evolved through that. And then COVID, what Eva decided to do was post one of her meals on Instagram. That's really how it started.
Like what you said, people really came into their own during COVID. I had so much time on my hands and I really started to understand myself and what I wanted to do and what I wanted to be. So sharing it on social media really just wow, I really want to do this for a living and I want to continue to inspire people and I want to continue to show people that cooking is a love language. So it really is an amazing thing that happened. I
like that term, love language. That's
I mean, that's what cooking is. It's a love language.
It could be that. If you do a recipe book someday, I think that's a good title. Now, Eva, what is the most extravagant dish or meal that you've created from scratch?
Ooh.
For me, it's hot dogs, but what for you?
God,
Well,
Wow.
could it have been on Top Chef? Could it have happened on Top Chef?
I would say I have cooked with a lot of expensive, rare, like, cooking, like, ingredients. But on Top Chef, in episode 2 of a luxury ingredient challenge, where we had to highlight a luxury ingredient to be the star of our dish, it was sea urchin, which is it's a part of the sea, really expensive stuff. We made an uni risotto.
Sea urchin risotto.
Sea urchin risotto. Uni is just like
Uni is the Japanese term
Right.
for sea urchin. If anyone who knows anything about sea urchin, it's an exotic bottom crawler.
Okay.
And it almost looks like a COVID spike because it's very, very spiky. And you have to crack it open, and then inside of that crack, you find the pieces of what look like to be tongue, almost little small tongues.
So yeah, we made the uni risotto in episode 2, and it was absolutely delicious. But probably on a restaurant menu, it would be like $60.
Okay.
So I know you mentioned a little bit that you how you transitioned to Top Chef, but originally you were on social media.
Mm-hmm.
But now, was there an audition process, or how'd they contact you or reach out to you? How did it all get started?
So basically, in January of 2021, I received an email from the Magical Elves casting agency wanting me to audition for what was Top Chef Junior Season 3. And they found me through my Instagram page. They thought I'd be a perfect fit for the show, and this was like huge for me because I was like, oh my God, a TV show wants me. Like, this is insane. I only had like 1,500 followers at the time. And we called the guy, and Instagram. And we called up the guy, and he was like, yeah, we want you to audition for this show. And the audition process was insane. It continued from like February of 2021 to April of 2021. Oh,
wow.
Audition videos, cooking pictures, house tours,
interviews,
papers galore. It was the craziest thing I'd ever been through. It was definitely honestly, it was just as tough as Top Chef, I would say. It was really tough.
Well, I would say that it was certainly harder than your older sister applying to college.
That's an amazing, because we have no idea. You see people on TV, you don't realize what they go through. But what I heard in there, the Magic Elves casting agency called you?
Yeah, one of the casting agents that works with Magical Elves reached out to me through my business email and was like, "We want you to audition for the show."
Magical Elves is the production company that produces all of Top Chef.
Wow.
Whether it's Top Chef Junior, Family Style, or the main Top Chef.
Now, you were
show.
on 9 episodes or so, right? Mm-hmm. Now, can you tell us, aside from the experiences there, what did you get out of that from you personally? Fame, fortune, a lot of fun, new friends, boyfriend, girlfriend, got to meet a chef you like? Or did they give you all the leftovers? Is that how they pay you?
I would definitely say I made tons of friends, and just through the whole process, there was something that we did before. So we got flown out to LA, and there was something called boot camp, which was the final audition. You got flown out to LA. It wasn't a guarantee you were going to be on the show. You had to do 3 days of in-person culinary evaluating. But at first, we had a week of in-hotel quarantining just because of COVID, and we just wanted to make sure everyone was negative. And we did 3 days of in-person cooking evaluation by culinary experts. And it was very, very tough 3 days. So after we found out that we made it on the show, obviously insane opportunity, like, oh my God. I just, through the whole experience, I made tons of friends, I learned so much, like the most I think I'll ever learn at my age for anyone who is cooking at my age. Just the whole experience. I made so many new friends, and I talked to all of them on the daily, and it's just amazing bonds that I have.
That's awesome. That really is. And the entire experience, what is the usual when you get back after the summer? They say, what did you do for my summer vacation? Write a paragraph? Or you could have a great one there.
I filmed Top Chef
there you
Family
go.
Style.
Exactly.
You are listening to My Hometown on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. My name is Mike DeMarco along with Bill Horan, and today we are talking with some new Long Island celebrities, Jenn Kopelman and her 15-year-old daughter, Eva, from Rockville Centre, who together recently competed on Top Chef Family Style, which can be seen on the Peacock streaming service from NBC. Now, I want to ask, so I know these cooking shows, Top Chef, or a lot of different variations of the sort can be very intense. What were some of the challenges that you personally faced on the show?
Well, being new to the whole professional culinary world, there's definitely a lot of challenges that happen going into the show. Not knowing specific terminology and not knowing specific techniques like the other kids knew. I faced a lot of that, and me having to study every night. I would rewrite culinary notes. I had a full notebook full of culinary notes and recipes and the mother's sauces and all this stuff.
We cooked together. I was her sous chef on the show. So it was a team effort. I come to the table with, although I'm a salesperson in the optical world, I'm not a chef of any kind. It's a personal passion. I come to the table with a lot of that knowledge that she isn't as well versed in at this point in her young life. I've traveled, I've gone to, beautiful restaurants. She has too, but not as often.
You're able to provide some missing pieces to the puzzle.
So there were definite missing pieces to the puzzle as her sous chef on the show, which is why I was brought on, was to be that sort of balance for her. And I think part of the whole family style concept was to let our kids or nephews, nieces, whoever it might be, granddaughters, shine. They had us there as their support. You talk about love language. Food is a love language. Food is love. And I think that the whole concept of them deciding to pivot from a Top Chef Junior 3 to a Top Chef Family Style concept, I think that they felt that it would be a better connection to the viewing audience because the love is in the show. It's in the cooking. It's in the drama of a mother and a daughter, of a sister and a brother, having those personal love connections and coming out with this incredible, amazing, over-the-top food that you would find in some of the finest restaurants in Manhattan.
Just getting hungrier and hungrier the more you eat. We're going to have to take a break so I can have a sandwich or something. Now, Eva, you and I think it was in the first episode or early on, you won something called the Quickfire Challenge.
Yes.
And as I understand it, it involved grilled cheese, which is something I like. Can you tell us about that?
So in the first episode, me and my mom won the very first Quickfire of the season, which was great because it really set the tone for the rest that we were in the competition for, that we are a threat and that that we can
You can do it, yeah.
Exactly, that we can do it. And the challenge was dynamic duos that you had to elevate a classic culinary duo like peanut butter and jelly.
That's cool.
And
spaghetti and meatballs.
Exactly. So we decided to do an elevated grilled cheese and tomato soup. It was what we call a mozzarella and carosa, which is basically a deep-fried grilled cheese. I mean, what's better than that, honestly? And we made a creamy tomato bisque on the side with homemade basil pesto. I mean, it's delicious.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, so we made that, and it ended up coming out to be great. Not expecting at all we were going to win the first Quickfire of the season. That was, definitely mind-blowing. You could tell by my face if you watched the episode. I'm in total shock, and so is my mom. She's a very big crier. She cries a lot on the show, and she definitely shed some tears in the first episode.
I shed a lot of tears in the entire season.
Exactly.
That's probably good for TV. They probably love it. Can you cry a little more? Can you laugh a little more? So
they didn't have to
probably
do that
helps
with
the
us.
ratings.
No.
We were...
No forced tears.
All natural.
The hearts were on this... Yes.
But by any chance, did you bring a couple of those grilled cheese with you this evening?
Oh,
so we
yeah.
could try
I got some in the car.
All right. Well, after the show, we got to come back to that.
What was interesting about that first episode is that you don't really know any of the castmates at that point. So you don't know who's really great and who's maybe in the middle. And so it's very interesting because you really don't know. And I think that at the first episode, everyone is just wanting to get through the first episode without going home. Because then at that point, you have a little bit of a playing field. You know who you're up against. Because it is a competition. You always want to know who you're competing against.
But it's a nice feeling, too, because at that point, too, it's just family in the kitchen. You know, you're
Right.
doing the normal things family would do.
And yeah.
Fighting.
Yeah.
And that's why we had a kind of fighting, like, mother-daughter portrayal on the show, because we didn't treat it as, like, okay, we're on Top Chef, we have to act a certain way. We're just ourselves, and how we cook is how we cook. At the end of the day, all it's about is getting the food on the plate and making sure you have good food.
But, you know, that's where the flavor comes from.
Exactly, the love and the passion.
So we're New Yorkers. We're the only New Yorkers that made it to the final 13. There were 13 duos that made it to the actual cast. And, you know, as New Yorkers, I don't have to tell you guys, we are boisterous, loud,
And bold.
and we put it out there. And I think that we might have scared off a few of our competitors just in our mannerisms and things of that nature. Yet, as the show unfolds throughout the season, we are the duo that gets the most airtime, the most comments on Reddit, positive or negative. You know, we really brought the entertainment to the show.
Whether it's negative or positive.
Whether it's negative or positive, but at the end of the day, it's all positive because it's a family show and it's...
Hey,
So you're telling us our ratings are going to go sky high after the show, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, absolutely. We got the right people.
Yes, no,
You got the
do.
Even and
You
Jenn
do.
entertainment.
We are.
There we go.
And now that we'll have time to promote it, yeah, but Eva has over 85,000 followers on TikTok. And now she has almost 4,000 followers on Instagram and growing every day. I mean, she's picked up probably 20,000 followers on TikTok in the last month. And so to be able to promote this and let everybody know to come and listen to this fabulous podcast.
So you're kind of the Kardashians of cooking. Is that what you're telling us?
She's the Charlie
Okay.
D'Amelio.
Can we get some autographed photos later?
Oh, yeah, totally.
After the show, we have to get those, Mike.
She will be a force to be reckoned with.
I see
she
that.
already is.
I see that.
At 15.
well, it's clear you're becoming a rising celebrity as it is. But now, as far as celebrity encounters go during the show, I know it was hosted by Meghan Trainor. What was she like? And were there others? Or
Megan was definitely, you see celebrities on TV and on the internet, and you don't really know who they are through the camera because anything could be edited down.
Yes.
And I didn't know what to expect through the celebrity encounters during the show, but Megan was such a genuinely nice girl. She wasn't fake. She just had such a kind heart. And getting to know her and being able to know Meghan Trainor was just such an amazing opportunity. And it's so good to know that celebrities can be normal humans when you actually get to know them.
Real.
Exactly.
She was real and warm and kind. And it was important because at the end of the day, you're still dealing with children. I mean, 9 to 15. So there needs to be, you know, a little bit of a soft landing.
It's great to hear
Yes.
that because we hear, you know, media people and sports stars, and all you hear 99% is the bad when they beat up somebody or they have an accident or drunk driving, whatever. To hear someone is genuinely kind and nice, and they should be. I mean, you're making their show for them. They're the host, but it's the people who are on there who are doing it, and apparently that grilled cheese sandwich is. I'm still thinking of that.
Oh, my God.
So now let me
really
ask you, Eva, social media. How has that influenced? And do you put dishes on there? Can we look at them and can we smell them over social media?
Oh, yeah, you can
Does it
definitely
waft over?
Oh, yeah, you can definitely waft the dishes
Okay.
through the screen and you'll definitely see them. But I try to post at least 3 times a week because I also have to manage school, which is really important, and my family and just my sports and everything I have going on. But I really try to prioritize my social media and my audience to make sure that I'm keeping up to date with the trends and like entertaining them, putting out good content for them. So yeah, making sure that I'm staying active and all of that is like really important.
Yeah, social media is incredibly important nowadays. You know, you promote yourself. You know, you're your own producer, and it's great. I mean, that's how it all got started, right? For the most part.
It did. It's incredible to see, like she had said, from when she posted her first chocolate chip cookie on Instagram to where she is today and where she's going. It's an incredible journey. It's been full of laughter and tears.
And a little anger here
and
and
a little
there.
anger, a lot of emotion. Eva's very passionate at a young age. It's a passion to be a chef. It's something you have to love.
Naturally.
Otherwise, it's not for you. And with that type of passion and artistry, because it's actually an art as well, plating is part of the whole process. Temperamental artists, hello. We have her in the room with us today.
And you look so nice. And
as loving and beautiful and kind and warm, because you can't find them any warmer.
But she probably has a big knife right behind her.
She has a big knife, and she wields it
Stay back.
a lot. No, but in all seriousness, she is very passionate, and it's, for a young person, she juggles a tremendous amount with school and her father and her chores at home and her sports, which she still loves to play, tennis.
It sounds like you're doing them well.
Basketball, and her social media, which is huge.
Yeah.
She's also a sponsor currently for Sunny D Fruit Drink.
Oh, wow.
A contract that she received through her social media. So she gets paid to make content for them and post it on a monthly basis.
Chocolate chip cookies plus passion equals Top Chef and Sunny D.
Exactly.
Before we continue, I just want to add that you are listening to My Hometown on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. My name is Mike DeMarco, along with Bill Horan, and today we are talking with some new Long Island celebrities. Jenn Kopelman and her 15-year-old daughter, Eva, from Rockville Centre, who are together recently competed on Top Chef Family Style, which can be seen on the Peacock streaming service app on NBC. Now, I want to ask the both of you, is there anything that's your favorite to cook? Like, is there, like, if you had to pick one thing to be, like, all in all meal, what would it be?
Braised short ribs. I make a ton of short rib dishes. She taught me how to do it. There's just something about it that's, like, so good. Like, it shreds and it's, like, melts in your mouth. I can't explain it, but it's by far, behind sushi, one of my favorite foods. And now that I've learned how to use a pressure cooker, it doesn't have to be a weekend thing. It can now be it could be a nightly dinner during the week, which is amazing. So it's definitely one of my favorite foods that I love to cook.
This is getting tougher and tougher to sit here and hear of all these good foods. There's just one after. You didn't, by any chance, bring little leftovers or something?
I know.
Had you asked?
I'm asking.
She made a pulled pork tonight before we.
Oh my God, you're killing me.
Came in. Everything that Eva does, just so you and the viewing or listening audience knows, is scratch. There's nothing that comes out of a can, or if she's making a pulled pork, that barbecue sauce is brown sugar, honey, whatever goes in it, right?
Now, is there anything you really dislike I'm not a cook, so I don't know, but is there something you'd say, I hate cooking fish or chicken or something that is just your enemy?
I really love to cook everything, but there's just something about cooking homemade ravioli that really gets to me.
That would be the last thing I would think on the list that would be a negative. I thought it was going to be some oddity that falls in there.
No,
it's the ravioli.
It's ravioli with the homemade pasta, and sometimes it can get stuck in the pasta machine. It's just like a whole torture show at some point.
You're the expert, so you know.
Yeah, but
she makes incredible ravioli.
I still make it, but
And the pasta is insane. And if you ask me, my favorite is anything Italian. So it's meatballs and pasta. her olive vodka meatballs. She makes olive vodka meatballs. So instead of meatballs just in a tomato sauce, she makes it in an olive vodka sauce.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, everything is really, I mean, if it's really pretty incredible what diversity she has at such an early age. And a fried egg is amazing. Okay? Like, she just knows how to make that fried egg with the crispy edge, just the edge.
She's like a magician. She like pulls it out of her sleeve. Do you ever go out? Do you ever go out to eat and like you just start critiquing the food? And you
Are
like,
you kidding
like you
me?
whisper to each other, be like, "We could do this so much better."
I can. This is the.
Here we go. Here we go, folks.
This is the perfect thing that you say that, because every time we go to a restaurant, it's always, we can do this better.
Well, we can.
We can do this better. We can cook this 10 times better. This is not good. Like, I'm telling you, it's.
You become a critic when you have been on Top Chef and you are being critiqued by the likes of Marcus Samuelsson, who is
the big
very
cheese.
high level, and all of these other incredible chefs that come in and, you know, critique on a weekly basis, Michelin star chefs who are telling us that our dishes are worthy of being on their Michelin star menus. You begin to go to restaurants on your own and you start, it's almost involuntary. It's not like we're trying to, but you just can't help yourself.
It's a whole new culinary perspective.
Right.
It really, really
I was going to ask you, if that killed going to a restaurant for you now because you see it so differently?
Honestly, I still love the things that are processed, and like, I'm still a teenager at the end of the day. I still love like, I don't know.
McDonald's.
Exactly. And that's okay.
Like, even though I have a chef mind, it's still, you know.
Folks, sorry we're running out of time, but I want to thank our guests, Eva and Jenn Kopelman, proud residents of Rockville Centre, who were recently contestants on Top Chef Family Style, which can be seen on Peacock streaming service from NBC. Thanks so much for taking the time to speak with us and being with us today.
Thank you. If we could just let everybody know that you can find Eva on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at Eatin' with Eva. It's eating without the G, so it's EATIN with Eva. And you can see her make her recipes. She does tutorials. She takes pictures, and she's amazing. And thank you.
And you sound like a loving mom. I'm Bill Horan. I'm here with Mike DeMarco. We want to thank you for listening to this week's special edition of My Hometown.
We like to get your feedback on My Hometown. Send your comments to WHPC at ncc.edu. Nassau Community College, where success starts and continues. Till next time, this is Bill St. James. And remember, there's no town like your hometown.